Welcome to Message from the Streets. Hope everybody is doing well. 2022, the year of the people. This is a special edition. Going to be dealing with some political matters or issues stemming from January the 6th, 2021. The insurrection, the violent attempt to stop Congress process of identifying the 46th president of the United States. Now, before I go any further, I want all to be very aware that I am not for the left or the right, the conservatives or the liberals. I'm for truth. And I'm speaking from a truthful perspective from my understanding of gathering information about this particular topic. And that is the coup or the attempted coup, the rioters, the violent American of America, who descended down on the nation's capital, the House of the People, and committed all types of violent crimes against the American people at large by their behavior at the Capitol. Now, we know that if this was so-called Negroes, that there would have been a bloodbath. If this was so-called Islamic, people that represent the Islamic faith, or any other people in the United States that is identified as citizens besides Caucasian Europeans, that there would have been a very different outlook. But I'm not going to talk about that today. I'm going to talk about some behavior that is very disturbing. And this behavior is an act of treason. And I'm going to go off the top, Mr. Jim Jordan, who has refused to cooperate with Congress. Scott Perry of Pennsylvania, matter of fact, Jim Jordan from Ohio, Mark Meadows, him, the former chief of staff, and Stephen Bannon, chief strategist for 7 months under the Trump administration. Now, Congress has called these people to court. I don't know exactly have they subpoenaed them, but if they did, they denied and disrespect Congress. Now, on another level, if a person such as yourself or I decided that, hey, we didn't want to go to court for a traffic ticket or any other minor violation of the laws of this land, there would be some consequences, penalties, fines, jail time. And this is not the case here with these individuals that are actually supporting the insurrection, supporting Donald Trump, because that's what this is all about. They do not want to lose their ties with the momentum of Trump, which they are pretty crazy. He lost a lot of momentum when he started to promote to his followers to take the jab, to take the booster. So these guys are still, prehistoric in their thought process. They can't play chess. Donald Trump was a key component, but his strength, his energy, and his support has been weakened by his greed over the people. Yes, I said his greed because his thing is, Donald Trump, he's investing in the big pharma. He's investing into pharmaceuticals. And now he's trying to take this angle whereas though he created the 3 greatest vaccines known to mankind. That's what he said. You know what I'm saying? So, that's another story. But this whole thing is that we must be very aware of what's going on. The Republicans, they say that the Democrats are the ones that are at error and they do not have the best of the interests of the people at hand. They also identifying the Democrats as criminals, have trumped up all types of charges against the Democrats. On the other hand, the Democrats say that the Republicans, they are out of touch with their conservative views, and they do not have the best of the interests of the people at hand, and they are the criminals. But let me tell you this. Both parties are organized crime families, and they are criminals that are working together. They act like that there's two different parties, but it's only one agenda. And they say, well, we don't get to the agenda from the left, we'll get there from the right. But in the process, we got to set this stage. We got to set this theatrical, where so that the people would be swayed one way or the other. We're going to get the people emotional. We're going to get the people fearful. And by igniting emotions and feelings in the people, they get people that are unable to think to become like deers in the headlight. They become frozen, they stuck, and they're looking for help. But I want you to know, crime family, syndicate of the left and the right, the liberals and the conservatives, the Republicans and the Democrats. We know that you're the biggest gangsters on the planet. And there are people out here that are not dismayed or disillusioned by your positioning, by your suppressing and oppressing people within your own country and the people around the world. This is the normal status of European occupation or operation from the king status. The king and the royal court, then there's the subjects, the peasants, the labor barriers. It's the same thing going on here and in the United States and across the planet. Now the people, we have seen this same old play over and over again through the history books. And you know what? We keep on drinking that juice. Maybe Trump juice, Biden juice, Obama juice, Clinton juice, Bush juice, Reagan juice, Carter juice, Ford juice, Nixon juice, Johnson juice, Kennedy juice, Eisenhower juice, Truman juice. It's all been juice. And we have been lied to. We have been deceived. We have been led astray, led amok. And I'm not saying that through none of these administrations, some type of progress haven't been made. But these are what is known as pacifiers. They throw us a bone here and there while they continue to eat the steak. It's kind of like this, ladies and gentlemen. If you have been eating low-grade food all your life, slop, you would think that is normal and you would be very appreciative of it until you get something that is better. And it's just like with the Congress personnel from the executive, judicial, legislative branch of the government, and even the smaller units, the governors, the mayors, the ward leaders, so forth and so on, because they're all running off the same thing. It's money motivated. If you've been receiving the same lies from birth into your adult age and stage of life, you would think that it's true until you've discovered the truth. So I'm saying that we must be wise, intelligent, awakened, aware of what's going on around us. Remember that these political figures are supporting treason. That is Jim Jordan, Scott Perry, Mark Meadows, Stephen Bannon, and Marjorie Taylor, and all the others that denied what happened on January the 6th as some type of small, non-significant riot that took place. No, there was something going on big there, and we need to admit to it, address it, hold people accountable, and that's the way we can move on. Before I roll out, Lee, I want you to know this, that America will never become great. Why? Because America is filled with hate, as we've seen in the last administration. America is filled with lies that traditionalists attempt to keep alive because of their agreement in the honoring of their forefathers. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you this message in love, and I leave you this message in peace. Peace and goodwill to all humanity. Praise him that raised him.
This hearing is called the Capitol Insurrection. Let's be honest with the American people. It was not an insurrection, and we cannot call it that and be truthful. The House floor was never breached, and it was not an insurrection. This is the truth. There was an undisciplined mob. There were some rioters and some who committed acts of vandalism. But let me be clear, there was no insurrection, and to call it an insurrection, in my opinion, is a bold-faced lie.
Was January 6th an insurrection, or could it be more accurately described as a mob of misfits committing disorderly conduct, violent entry, civil disorder, vandalism, unlawful entry, etc.? You know, the crimes that these people were actually charged with.
At 2:07, a mob of Trump supporters breached the steps. I don't know who did a poll that is Trump supporters.
In fact, it was Trump supporters who lost their lives that day, not Trump supporters who were taking the lives of others.
I've repeatedly asked for the Capitol footage from before and during January 6th. Such footage would provide answers, could contain exculpatory evidence regarding the outrageous accusations against members of Congress, and most importantly, exonerate the many Americans who peacefully protested and never set foot in the Capitol.
Democrats have said the events of the Capitol on January 6th were an assault on our democracy. And if that's true, if disorderly conduct in a restricted building is an assault on democracy, then what do we call setting fire to a federal court in Portland, Oregon, where people inside, what do we call that?
19 people died during BLM riots last year. Hundreds and hundreds were injured. 2,000 police officers were injured from BLM riots last year. And yet, we're going to discuss today, as if none of that happened, the events of January the 6th. The hypocrisy of this body is indeed disturbing.
Got that right.